Hi everybody, welcome back. So this week we talked about assistive technologies in the classroom, and the first question was, what is my experience with assistive technologies? I work in a classroom with low incidence special education, so that means that I work with the children who have severe disabilities. In my case, I work in an intellectual disability classroom. So it's about an IQ of 60 or under. So we have very severe kids. And we have a lot of technologies in our classroom that we use on a daily basis to help our children learn. To learn living skills, to learn intellectual, to learn school, just to learn everything. So we use technologies on a daily basis. So communication is, let's see here. The second question was three of the six different categories. The first category I'm going to talk about is communication. One type of assistive technology that he did not mention was light boards. And light boards are really great for children who have vision problems. And that's really common actually with children who were premature or who have a TBI, a traumatic brain injury, because or obviously if you have some sort of oxygen problem when you're born or a traumatic brain injury, then it can affect your ocular nerve. So it gives the light underneath gives a high contrast, and it makes it a lot easier for a child to see. So light boards are very simple technology. If a district buys a light board, it's going to cost you thousands of dollars. If you go to Joann Fabric and you buy a light board, especially if you buy it on like Black Friday or clearance, it'll cost you like $25. So don't tell the district that. But if you want to buy a light board, go to Joann Fabrics. Or if you want to do it old school, find an old overhead projector. Physical disabilities, the one that wasn't on there that I think is important for people to know what it is what physical therapists call a stander. And there are three major pieces of equipment that you'll see for someone who is in a wheelchair. And the first one is their wheelchair, and then the second one is a stander. And the stander is the piece of equipment that the physical therapist and then the teacher and everyone in the classroom will use to put that person up into a standing position, and then it kind of locks in on itself with a piece in the back to help that person stand up, to use those back muscles to keep the spine straight, and to depending on the person and how long they need to be standing for how many times. It can be kind of painful in the beginning until those muscles get loosened up. Think what it's like to sit down 23 hours a day. It wouldn't be pleasant to stand up for the first little bit of it. And so sometimes kids will see that, adults will see that, and they'll say, why is that kid upset? Or what are you guys doing over there? That's called a stander. And the other one that goes along with that's a walker. So that's called a stander. That's what that is. And it is incredibly expensive. So if you are ever in a class or in a school where you have a physical therapist who leaves a stander out, do not let your kids touch it. We're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars. So the third technology that I was going to talk about is environmental living. And the best piece of environmental living assistive technology known to mankind is headphones. Anytime that you have to go to an assembly, anytime that you have a movie that gets too loud, anytime that you have a fire alarm, oh my dear goodness, a fire alarm. Children who have sensitive hearing, especially children who are autistic, children who get startled with noise, those headphones that can give them the control of how loud that assembly is going to be, so they can take it off when it calms down, but when the drums start going, they can put it back on. It really helps those children function in situations like assemblies. They wouldn't be able to go to school assemblies unless they have the ability to muffle out the really loud noise of the drums and the saxophones. And so it really does make it possible for those children to go to those types of events. So the new assistive technology that I want to talk about is a trampoline, which most people don't think about as a technology, but it really is, and it is incredibly helpful, and it's helpful in and out of a school, which is why I'm going to use that one as an example. A lot of children have a short attention span. And that's going to be even more true the children I deal with who are on a very low end of the bell curve. You're just very low functioning children. And if they're trying to sit still and trying to focus so hard on what they're trying to learn, they're spending all that time and all that energy sitting, and they're not able to retain anything. If we can use that energy that they have with that movement and their need to move, and we can harness it, then let's harness it. So if I have a child who can't sit still, period, and doesn't know the answers, it's possible for me to take that kid out to a trampoline and say, okay, jump. And while we're jumping, let's do our sight words. And that kid will know every single sight word. And it's because that child needs movement. He needs to move. His body, it's necessary. And so for a child like that, the ability to let that out and to harness that energy is a really important thing. It works well with counting, it works well with sight words, it works well for brain breaks, it works well for alphabets, it works well for reading sentences. It's a really great assistive technology. I've seen it. I really didn't buy into it until I saw it work, and I've seen it work with a gazillion kids that I thought, wow, I had no idea that these brains actually held this much information. They just weren't able to get it out because of where they were trying to sit or trying to stand. And by allowing them to jump at the same time where you were trying to get them to say it, that they could do it. So the trampoline is my assistive technology of choice. So guys, thank you very much. Have a great spring break, and we will see you later.